It was a secret for decades that Carlos Santana kept. The hurt, the deception, and the times he begged for the pain to end. The rock star who ruled Woodstock was shown to us, but we never knew about the 7 times he tried to end it all. At age 77, Santana isn't just talking about his worst times anymore. He's revealing the truth that made his life, music, and soul what they are. Let's hear the whole story. It was hard and exciting for Carlos Santana as a child. The year he was born was 1947. Carlos learned how to play music from his dad when he was very young. His dad played violin in mariachi bands. He went to Tijuana with his family when he was 8 years old. His life changed a lot because of this move. Carlos saw a cool rock band called the TJs play in a park in Tijuana. He fell in love with rock and blues music because of this. Things weren't always good in Tijuana though. Carlos went through something very bad for 2 years. He was hurt by an American man in ways that no child should ever be hurt. A lot. This man would take Carlos across the line and buy him clothes and things to keep him quiet. The man hit Carlos for looking at a woman through a window, which made the fight end. Carlos felt bad about this terrible event for a long time. Carlos began playing guitar in Tijuana strip clubs when he was only 15 years old. It was a bad place for kids to live. He saw some really scary things, like a police officer being mean to a worker lady. But playing in these places also helped Carlos make his own unique mix of rock, blues, and Latin music. Carlos Santana worked at the TikTok drive-in as a cleaner in the early 1960s. He didn't make much money, but he saved every penny he could. He wished he could buy immigrant papers and a brand new Stratocaster guitar. He found out one day that his mother had spent the $300 he had saved on food and dental work for his sister. She only gave Carlos $20 back when he asked her about it. He left home because he was so hurt. He went back to Tijuana with only $20 and played music in strip clubs to make money. Carlos had a hard time in San Francisco. He shared a small crowded room in the Mission District with other artists. He slept on the floor because there was no bed. He washed dishes for a long time and barely had enough money to buy food. He mostly ate rice and beans. Because he didn't have enough money for real guitar strings, he played with broken ones or anything else he could find. He didn't give up on his singing even though things were tough. Carlos used to play music in the streets of San Francisco before he became popular. He put on shows for hours at places like Union Square and Fisherman's Wharf. He made less than $5 some days. He heard a lot of different types of music while he played, like jazz and folk. People saw him and paid attention because he learned how to mix these sounds into his own way. In 1966, Santana formed his first band, the Santana Blues Band. This was the big moment. It all just happened to work out. He met Tom Fraser at the drive-in, and Fraser put him in touch with piano player Greg Rowley. Others joined the band, such as David Brown on bass and Marcus Malone on drums. Michael Carabello came up with the name Santana for the band because it sounded catchy. Santana's rise to fame seemed like it was meant to be. The band got their big break at Woodstock thanks to a producer named Bill Graham who had faith in them. Graham was helping to plan the event, and told the people in charge that Santana had to be a part of it if they wanted his help. Santana wasn't well known at the time. Most of the 400,000 people at Woodstock who didn't know who they were hadn't even heard their first record yet. The band was from San Francisco and had been playing in small bars in Tijuana and other places not long ago. They were given a 45-minute time slot in the afternoon of August 16, 1969. They were put in this spot with big names like the Grateful Dead and Creedence Clearwater Revival, which made it even stranger that they were chosen. What was even stranger than Santana's performance at Woodstock was how he was feeling during the show. He was only 22 years old when he met Jerry Garcia from the Grateful Dead out of the blue. Santana thought they wouldn't play until much later that night, maybe around 3 a.m. after they got to the event by chopper. Garcia gave Santana something to try while they were waiting. It could have been peyote, mescaline, or another strong substance. Santana was really hurt by it. He was already in the middle of an exciting trip when it was time to act earlier than planned. He was scared when he saw the neck of his guitar moving like a snake on stage. Santana left his mind at the music and let his fingers find the right notes while he played. During one point he even prayed to God to help him stay humble in front of the huge crowd. Everything for Santana changed at Woodstock. Because of how well they played, they became stars quickly. Carlos had been told by Bill Graham that fame would hit him hard after the event, and he was right. Santana's first album came out on August 30, 1969, just 2 weeks after Woodstock. The time was just right. Soon they weren't just a neighborhood band. Everyone in the country knew about them. Graham helped the band make the most of their fame, getting them to play at big events like the Gold Rush Festival and even on the Ed Sullivan Show in October 1969. These chances made their rising fame even stronger. Santana's first record did really well. That's how long the self-titled album stayed on the Billboard 200 pop album chart. 108 weeks. It reached its highest point of number 4 in November 1969. Not even close to making it to number 56 was their first single, Jingo. It was Evil Ways that really turned them into a big star. It went up the charts and stayed at the top for 13 weeks, hitting number 9. Bill Graham, who wanted the band to play Willie Bobo's version of the song, made the interesting choice to include Evil Ways on the record. It wasn't just fame that the record brought Carlos Santana, it also let him keep a promise he made to his mother. He bought her a house with his first royalty check and made sure it had everything she needed, like a brand new fridge. This was the start of Santana's success that would make him a rock star. At the same time, Carlos Santana married Deborah King, who was the daughter of blues singer Saunders King, in 1973 when he was at the top of his music career. They became friends after meeting at a show at the Marin Civic Center. Their marriage turned into more than just a marriage over the years. They worked together in business too. Deborah was very important to Santana's business and income, especially in the 1990s when Carlos said he might not have had anything without her help. They had 3 kids together: Salvador, who wrote songs and led a band; Stella, who sang and wrote songs; and Angelica, who wrote and produced movies. They were married for 34 years and worked well together in business. They took over the Santana Band in 1994, and Deborah worked as vice president and COO of Santana Management until 2007. Also in 1998 they started the Milagro Foundation to help kids in need all over the world. It was Deborah who helped Carlos's 1999 album Supernatural become a huge hit. It went platinum 15 times and won 9 Grammy Awards. It looked like they had a great marriage, but it wasn't. Deborah wrote in her 2005 autobiography Space Between the Stars that Carlos had been cheating on her. Among other things, this discovery led to their split in 2007. After the book came out, Carlos openly admitted that he had been cheating on his wife. He told Deborah and their kids that he was sorry for the hurt he caused and felt very bad about it. That time he said he wasn't in the right frame of mind. He promised to change into the man she wanted him to be. During this time, Carlos was having a lot of problems because of a bigger problem in his spiritual life. He used to follow a spiritual leader named Sri Chinmoy, but he stopped in 1982 because they didn't agree on some personal issues. Carlos was hurt very badly by the breakup. It was the worst time of his life, and he tried to kill himself 7 times. He was in so much pain that he thought death might be better than being hurt. He tried over and over, but something always stopped him. He said that a strong but soft voice told him, "I'm sitting next to you. Isn't that enough?" These times, along with seeing a picture of Jesus and lighting a candle, helped him get back from the edge. He slowly found happiness in everyday things like breathing and eating. The pain of the breakup also made him remember a terrible event from his childhood. A friend of his father sexually abused him when he was 10 years old. He finally had the strength to forgive his attacker because of his faith. He said that forgiving someone was freeing. There have been ups and downs on his spiritual path. His teacher gave him the name Devadip in 1973. It means the lamp, light and eye of God. Carlos later became a Christian, which brought him peace after he stopped following the guru's advice. He was so devoted to his religion by 2015 that he talked about becoming a church minister when he stopped making songs.